upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and a faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Mr. Nathan KORIR, I believe that is your name. Welcome and feel comfortable, relax. This session is going to be a friendly session. I believe you are the nominee for land and physical planning.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Kindly, before we proceed, and before I introduce the members, let me see your ID, kindly. Okay, members, as per the Gazette notice advertised on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023, Mr. Nathan KORIR, ID number 247574113, and the physical ID, I have it here, which matches the number 247574113, Nathan Kipkemei KORIR. I have no doubt he's the one that we're going to vet for the position of CEO, Lands and Physical Planning. Before I proceed to my Vice Chair, introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Honorable Naomi Serem, Vice Chair to this committee. I'm the member representing Muzingishu on gender. First and foremost, congratulations, Nathan, for this far that you've came, being nominated the CEO for the Lands and Planning. Welcome and feel at home. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Let me start when you're entering on my right. Mheshimiwa, just introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, honorable members and nominee Nathan. Good afternoon once more.
Good afternoon.
I'm Honorable Amos Kiptanui, representing West Coast Ward and a member to the Committee of Lands and Physical Plan. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon all. Welcome our nominee, Mr. Nathan. Congratulations for this far. I'm Honorable James Maina Wachira, nominated MCA and also a friend to this committee. Welcome all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Bwana Nathan KORIR. I am Honorable Isaac Chirchir, member representing SOI, and a member representing in this committee. Thank you.
Asante, hamjamboni nyote. Bwana Nathan, karibu. Kongole kwa kufika mahali pale, kwa sababu najua kulikuwa na wengi. Na wewe ndio umefika katika hatua ile ya mwisho. Mara tena kongole. Kwa majina yangu ni Mheshimiwa Francis Muya Mwangi, mjumbe mwakilishi wa Langas Ward. Unapoangalia hapa, mimi sio kiongozi wa walio wengi, bali kiongozi wa walio wachache na mwanakamati wa kamati hii. Karibu sana.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Malet, the Deputy Speaker of the County Assembly, member representing Kimumu, and also a member to this committee.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I am Honorable Isaac Kirwa Kemboy, MCA representing Kapsoya Ward, friend to this committee.
Good afternoon all. Honorable Gilbert Chepkonga, MCI in Kolare Ward, member to this committee. Welcome, Nathan.
Honorable Chair, the honorable members, and our nominee, good afternoon. I am Honorable CPA Samuel Sawe, member representing Kamagut, and friend of this committee.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Rebecca Magut, representing Queenette Kapsuso Ward, a friend to this committee.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm Honorable Thomas Yego, representing Tarakwa, a friend to this great committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm David Piwat Ketan, representing Serkoit Ward, a friend to this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. Welcome our nominee. I'm Honorable Isaac Samoei, MCA Kapsaos Ward, and a member to this committee.
Staff, the assembly.
Good afternoon. My name is Miriam Sawe, the HR director.
Sharon Kwambai, Sajenata.
Jacqueline Chepkeme, Hansard reporter.
Naomi Serem, committee clerk.
Thank you. Mr. Nathan, welcome once more and congratulations. This far you've come. Just I want to let you know that any question you will be asked, you direct the answer to the chair. You address the chair. You don't address the specific member. Let me give you this opportunity just to introduce yourself and let us know who Nathan is. Welcome.
Well, Honorable Chairman and honorable members of this House, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I'm Mr. Nathan Kipkeme KORIR. I was born in Wasingishu in the year 1987. Soy sub-county, Soy ward, Kongasis location. I'm married to Madam Beatrice Rotich and blessed with children. I'm a Christian by religion, and also I am a society man. Well, educational background. I started my primary education at various schools in Wasingishu, and later did my KCPE examination in the year 2000 at Mometet Primary School in Moiben sub-county. I proceeded for my whole level studies at Kipsangui Boys, which is in Soy sub-county, and I did my KCSE in the year 2004. After high school, I was involved here in town with a lot of informal works, but I later joined Strathmore School of Business for my CPA qualification. Well, I later joined Moi University for my undergraduate degree in Bachelor of Business Management, which I graduated with Bachelor of Business Management, Purchasing and Supplies option, minoring in marketing, second class honors upper division. I've also done certified secretary's examination, part 1 and part 2. I've also done certified secretaries, certified supply and professional exams of Kenya, part 1. I'm a member of the following professional bodies. I'm a member of ISPAC, Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. I'm a member of Kenya Institute of Supplies and Management, KISM. I'm a fellow also at the Kenya Institute of Management. Work experience. My first work assignment was at the former KORIR Bank, now Citian Bank. I was there as a teller, where I performed various functions, including advising customers on bank products, reconciling customer drawers, and also keeping customers' information with confidentiality. In 2009, I got lucky and I got a job at Kenya Seed Company Limited, and I worked as an accountant from 2009 to 2014, where my duties were mainly reconciling customer accounts, reconciliations, bank reconciliations, advising the chief accountant on better policies, maybe internal controls of the department, balancing cash, and also maintenance of debtors and creditors. I was also a member who participated in drawing the final accounts of the corporate, that's Kenya Seed Company Limited by then. Honorable Chairman, I should say that I'm a product of opportunity, and in the year 2014, I was lucky and I was employed as a procurement assistant manager at Talo Oil and Gas PLC. And shortly, I was at the helm of the organization on contract. So at Talo, I became the boss at the procurement department, where I was concerned mainly with developing of procurement strategies, maintaining, providing leadership to the staff, development of total quality management and EOQ, and also advising senior management on cost-cutting strategies. In 2016, I transited to Frontier Farms Limited. Frontier Farms is a multinational that operates in East and Central Africa. Here, my role was the operations manager. I was in charge of all operations of the company, managing finances, allocating, and also managing human resource in the department, in the company. I was also tasked with advising the MD on risk mitigation strategies the company would employ, so that maybe we could get, we could reduce expenses and get more profits. That was a profit and loss scenarios. Honorable Chairman, I can say this from my experience there. Maybe you can ask me, what about profit and loss? Profit and loss in corporate sector or in private sector equates to service delivery in public sector. Well, that was not the end. In 2019, I transported to Transist Africa Safaris Limited where I became the CEO. Trans Africa Safaris Limited is a freight company that does freight and logistics in nearly entirely of Africa, entire Africa. Here, I've been the secretary, the board, advising directors on investment opportunities. Also, I've been in charge of handling maybe escalated customer issues and maintaining relationship with stakeholders. Honorable Chairman and honorable members, I can say that no organization is a standalone. If we don't manage relationships, we will not flourish in our business. Management of stakeholders is core, because even in public sector, we cannot do our works alone as a department, but we have to involve all the relevant stakeholders, and we come together with strategies. That's participatory role. That's the role I've been playing up to date. So that's me, Honorable Chairman, and thank you for the time given to me.
Thank you so much for your introduction. Before this committee start the vetting process, it is good for me to let you know, pursuant to the provision of Section 45 of the County Government Act 2012, Section 5 of the Public Appointment County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, and Standing Orders Number 5 of the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu, Standing Order, the underlisted person have been nominated, including you among the unlisted person. So you are here as per the advert that was, as per the act, that is the provision of Act Section 45 of the County Assembly, Act 2012, Section 5 of the Public Appointment of County Assembly Approvals. Now, Nathan, thank you so much for your brief introduction. Before we proceed further, there's a few things which I noted. And as you said, you are a product of opportunities. And true to your CV, for sure, you are a product of opportunities, which also, me as the chair of this committee, I'm somehow worried. Because when I look at the years you've been working from one organization, to the next, you've at least an average of 3.5 years. Now, this position, you're going to work for 5 years. And as you said, you're a product of opportunities. That means in between here, between now and before the 5 years elapses, you might leave us somewhere hanging because of opportunities that are out there. And before you answer that question, let me introduce members. Mheshimiwa Kapkea, kindly proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Kapkea Evans, member for Tembelio Ward and friend to this committee.
I think the mic was not clear. Member of Tembelio Ward, Evans Kapkea. Mheshimiwa Sato.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Gilbert Koskei, member representing Kiptiret Kipchamo, a friend to this committee.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Gilbert. Also, let me take the privilege also to give our speaker, Honorable Speaker, an opportunity. You know, Speaker, it's sometimes, let me take the privilege now. And as the chair of this committee, you're sitting on the other side. I'm the boss today. Kindly introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, Nathan. My name is Philip Muigi, Speaker of this county assembly and also friend of the committee today. Thank you and welcome.
Okay. Let me give my able deputy, vice chair, Mheshimiwa Naomi, just to ask one question, then I give it to members.
Thank you, Chair. I have one question to our nominee, Nathan. Are you a member of any professional body?
Kindly, Mr. Nathan, just answer the two questions, then I'll give it to members.
Honorable Chairman, thank you. Well, I'll start with your question. You're asking maybe that I'm a real product of opportunity. When opportunity knocks, I think it's as human beings, nobody will not take the opportunity. Even all members of this House, Honorable Chairman, are also products of opportunity. Well, I believe and I pray that God will give me the opportunity to serve this county for the 5 years because I have an urge to serve in the public sector and give back to the community which has raised me, especially during this period where Eldoret is going to be turned from a municipality to a city. Thank you. Well, I can continue. Honorable Chair, and to answer Honorable Naomi's question. Well, I'm a member of ISPAC and KISIM. Those are the professional bodies where I belong.
Thank you. Thank you.
Order, Honorable Chair. Order, Honorable Chair. Yes.
What is your point of order, Mheshimiwa Isaac?
Yes, on as well stipulated by Mr. KORIR, the questionnaire number 7. I don't know whether he's the one who filled the questionnaire number 7. That is the question that was asked by, I think there would be a correction there because he's affirming that he's a member of ISPAC and a member of, I think they must, because of records, for record purposes. For record purposes, there should be a correction there on questionnaire number 7 that has been written not applicable. Look at number 7 on this document. Yeah, I am requesting the Sergeant at Arms to give a copy so that a correction can be done, so that we follow together.
Sergeant Atam, I also need to see that questionnaire number 7. Because, yeah, question number 7 I can see here is asking about the email address. Let me see. Oh, yes, EC. Okay.
I think that can be corrected, but the benefits of records.
Yeah, sure. I think you can give the nominee a copy. And maybe let me give him an opportunity to say something about it.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Well, concerning EACC number 7 question, if I'm a member of any professional body, well, I can term it, maybe it was an erroneous feeling. Yes, I can admit. Yeah.
For record purposes, before you leave the premise today, kindly you have to fill it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Before I give honorable members an opportunity, there's one thing that has. Let me ask you, Mr. Nathan, what motivated you to apply for this job?
Honorable Chairman, thank you so much for the opportunity granted. Well, I'm a resident of Wasingishu. I was born in Wasingishu. I believe with the kind of experience that I hold, I feel it's actually time and it's ripe for me to help the governor and the Wasingishu residents in realizing and getting a city, as I earlier said. Well, the leadership qualities that I've gained, such as those of managing finances, managing human resource, as articulated by County Governments Act, Article 86, the authorized roles, where the chief officer has some delegated roles from the Public Service Board, maybe to manage personnel. So I believe with my experience, where I've worked in several levels of management, or I've grown from the bottom level, I can put it this way, several careers of management. I've worked both at low level and high levels. So I believe mostly the CEOs or the head of departments do not keep the vision maybe of the department or the ministry or the governor's agenda alive. So having worked at different levels, I'll incorporate all people at the department to work towards achieving governor's agenda. That's Nguzo Kumi. Thank you.
Okay. Let me give it to members. Mheshimiwa Washira, I saw your hand up. Then Mheshimiwa Muya. Kindly proceed. Then Mheshimiwa Yego.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once again, Mr. Nathan KORIR, congratulations for this far. I've only 2 questions. Number 1, if given this position of chief officer, how will you ensure that your action or influence contribute towards continuous improvement of services in this county government?
Mheshimiwa Washira.
Yes.
Let me just cut you before then you start to ask your question. Kindly, you only have an opportunity to ask only 1 question. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I withdraw my 2 questions. Now I'm going to ask 1. Thank you, sir. Once again, Mr. Chairman, congratulations and thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Nathan, congratulations too. I have only 1 question to ask. Number 1, if given this position of chief officer, how will you ensure that your action or influence contribute towards continuous improvement of services in this county government of Wasingishu? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mheshimiwa Muya.
Thank you, our able chair. I've taken your instruction fully, though as a leader, I would wish you grant me to ask 2 questions, and I hope accepted. Our nominee, Nathan Korir Kemei. Good afternoon. As a person who have institution memory in the public service management as a leader, I've come to realize that lands matter in the Republic of Kenya is so emotive. And this is an area that you find there are people who have kept themselves busy to intrude on government and individual properties, which by the end of the day, it ends up in courts. You are entering into a public service in a department that have emotive issues. Once and again, you will find yourself in court over such matters. How are you ready to tackle and handle this issue, especially in Wasingishu, especially in Eldoret town? There is a lot of cases of land grabbing, which by the end of the day, they end up in courts. And if not well prepared, you might find yourself into the same. How are you prepared to make sure that you are going to remain nonpartisan, and by the end of the day, you help all Kenyans residing in Wasingishu to get justice on matters lands? And on the same, we have so many lands in Wasingishu that has not been issued with title deeds, starting with the area that I lead, that is Langas, and many more, including the peri-urban areas. What is your take, or what will be your advice to the governor, His Excellency, the governor, the CEO of this county, in making sure that by the end of his 5-year term, as many as possible of our people would have gotten title deed, so that they can know that their lands are secure. Finally, because that was one. Our nominee lands. You are not a lawyer by profession. And I have said that matter lands, there are so many legal issues. Don't you think that you will be challenged in the same because of legal issues? What is your take, and what do you assure to this committee? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Kindly, before I think Mheshimiwa Yego, then we can give it back to our nominee to answer the 3 questions. Though Mheshimiwa Muya, it seems you bypassed and asked the second question. So you just proceed, Mheshimiwa Yego.
Thank you, Chair. I had the same questions that the senior member, Mheshimiwa Muya, has gone through. Maybe I will only fertilize the same question because of this issue of the huge appetite of land appetite. You know, I don't know, as a new CEO, I don't know how you will handle that, because it's a serious matter. On the same note, we have very many people, especially from where I come from. I have a community referred to as the Ogiek. These people were living in the forest. Later on, they were, let me say, they were chased out of the forest. And quite a number of them are landless. I don't know, what do you think can be done to help these people. There is this issue of title deed that Honorable Mui has mentioned. We have several cases of double or triple registration of land. As the CEO, I don't know how you will intervene in trying to help and solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for fertilizing Mheshimiwa Zumuya question. And as we all know, this is the planting season. We are in committee of lands and you are fertilizing. I hope you will not ask for harvest. Mr. Nathan, kindly proceed.
Once again, Honorable Chairman, thank you for the opportunity granted. Well, I'll start with the question of Honorable Yego about the marginalized community that has not been, I think it was living in the forest and they were maybe displaced. So, well, the issue of land in Kenya is not fully devolved. You know, it's a matter handled by the national government, but here in county, it's we to provide supportive services, maybe on advisory of the committee. In fact, a lot of things will be working together and will be engaging a lot because this is not a one-man show. I'm just coming in as a leader, but it will be consultative most of the times. I cannot be a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer by profession, but there are laws that are applied to the ownership and securing the tenure of the land. We will always stick by the laws, the Land Act, on all matters that prevail before us. And one principle of land management in the Constitution is that all people have equitable rights to the ownership of the land. Well, the marginalized community that one of our honorable members, we had just asked the question whether how we will assist them get the titles. You know, the national government, under the advisory of the National Land Commission, will check maybe on the settlements, but on our part and the committee, the House maybe will pass a resolution on the same, maybe because they are residents of Uasin Gishu. That issue mainly will be handled by this committee. I think that's actually the first business of this committee, and we will handle together. Yes. Well, I'm proceeding. Intrusion of government and individual properties. Well, I think this boils down to the issue of maybe cartels in the sector. Well, you know, land is everything. Land as a factor of production, as we term in economics, can neither be increased, but we have to increase its productivity so that maybe to ensure it can serve us well. Well, the issue of cartels. Cartels may be people who get into unauthorized persons who get into other persons' properties. I, with the staff of the department, with also advisory from the committee, we will ensure that the registry is safe at all times under lock and key, and only authorized persons will be allowed to enter the registry. Number two, digitization, which had already been started by the national government. We will we will be championing, and I personally, being the leader in the department, will fast track the digitization and also ensuring that we carry an audit trail on the system to ensure that the titling and mapping are safe and secure. We'll also keep maybe passwords to identified persons only on the systems so that access can be traced for whoever maybe has accessed a property. Coding will also be an important thing in the lands registry because we can maybe have some code, but on under the advisory of the expertise. Honorable Chairman, I want to answer the question of Honorable Wachira. For now, I'll ensure that the service delivery is at its best. Well, the first question, before we come into maybe ensuring that services are delivered properly, is whether our services being delivered as we speak now, how are the services? First, maybe I'll come with the following strategies to ensure that service delivery is at its best. We are employed by the residents of Wasingishu, and we have to deliver the services. I'm not a physical planner. I'm not a surveyor. I'm not a geologist. But being at the helm of the department, I'll provide a good working environment for this expertise to thrive in their areas of specialization. Having served in a corporate world, I believe in specialization. Everybody does whatever he or she does best, and that will ensure service delivery. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nathan. Before I give to other members, yes, let me kindly give Honorable Speaker. It will be unfair if I proceed and the Speaker, maybe you haven't asked a question. Yeah. And Nathan, that question you will answer direct. Immediately finishes, you answer the question, then I'll give it to Mheshimiwa Kapkea.
Thank you.
Oh.
First of all, congratulations, Nathan Kipkemei KORIR, for being nominated Chief Officer, Lands and Physical Planning. I will have some few questions. It's just compliance questions. It doesn't necessarily expertise questions. So I love the fact that you have said you will give an opportunity to expertise in your department in case you have approved, so that they can handle the issues of lands and physical planning. The first question on your, it's about your professional certifications. You have said you're a member of KISM, you're a member of ISPAC, and a fellow institute of Kenya Institute of Management. But I'm not seeing any certificate from these institutions. You have just provided the transcripts, but I'm not seeing any certificates in your CV. Whether it's a certificate from ISPAC, and also certificates of good standing from those institutions. So kindly, maybe you will provide those certs. Another one is the issues of self-declaration form from EACC. You have that form with you? In that form, I'm not seeing where the EACC acknowledge that they are in receipt of that form. The form, EACC form, self-declaration form. There is nowhere the EACC received the form. There is no stamp for EACC. It's only the stamp for Commissioner for Oath. That is your lawyer. So maybe you will clarify that. In your tax compliance, I'm seeing the tax compliance you provided is up to 17 October 2022. I don't know if you have that CV with you. Maybe certain time you can provide that. The tax compliance you provided is the certificate is valid up to 17 October 2022. We are in April 2023. So kindly, I think the last question, Honorable Chair. In your questionnaire also, the last question, number 31, on the issues of reference. The question says, list 3 persons who are not your relatives, who are familiar with your character, qualification, and work. You have just listed the name and the telephone number. We don't know these people. Who are these people? Who is Billy Odhiambo? Who is Isaac Limu? Who is Rodney Kimutai? At least you provided us who is this person, the telephone address, the email address, and the telephone number. And also, Chair, maybe the last one, number 26. (26B). Explain how you will resolve any potential conflict of interest, including the procedure you will follow in determining the areas of concern. In your answer, it's not applicable. So you don't anticipate for any conflict of interest in case it arises. Thank you, Chair. I think those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Kindly, Nathan, proceed and answer the questions.
Honorable Chairman, thank you for the opportunity. Well, on issue of professional certificates, maybe I'll file with the registry immediately because I have them. The tax compliance certificate. You know, first while we were facing the Public Service Board, we had to furnish the tax compliance certificate. That's the one I furnished. So I'll provide the current one. About the conflict of interest. As at now, I don't have any conflict of interest. So, in the principle of utmost good faith, I was just declaring that I have no interest now. But if it arises, I'll let the respective persons whom they should know. I'm ready to declare any conflict of interest if it arises. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
There are still 2 questions, Honorable Chair.
I think the issues to do with the referees.
Well, my referees, maybe it was, I'll furnish further information about these referees on the questionnaire.
Then there's one last. Kindly, Mr. Speaker, maybe you repeat the question, the last one, which he hasn't had answered.
Thank you, Chair. I think it was the issues of the declaration from EACC. We don't know. You are just provided with the copies, and there is nowhere the receipt of acknowledgement of the receipt of the documents.
Honorable Chair, thank you. I'm sorry. Maybe the photocopier, the photocopying person was not careful, but I think I have an original one where the ACC received. The original is with my original documents.
Chair, kindly let him provide that.
Yeah. Let's proceed. Sergeant Atam and clerk will sort it out. Mheshimiwa Kapkea, then Mheshimiwa Chepkonga, kindly.
Chair.
Yes.
Excuse me. Clarification. I wish Nathan to clarify his place of birth. He mentioned twice that he was born in Wasit-Gishu, but the documents are not confirming that. Kindly.
Kindly, Nathan, proceed.
Honorable Chairman, thank you. Well, concerning my place of birth issue, I think that comes from the back of my ID. I think that's right. Well, you know, during those days, maybe it's not far, maybe because some of you are older than me, but the Ministry of Interior personnel could just copy-paste your parents' ID on the back. So I was really born here, but they did erroneously. They just copy-paste, yes. There was a tendency maybe to copy the whoever you had applied with, maybe your guardian or your parent.
Point of order.
Details, yes.
Point of order, Chair. Thank you so much, Chair.
What is the point of order, sir?
Is the nominee, Mr. Nathan Gipkemei, KORIR. Is he prepared for this interview? So that if he is not, then I would kindly seek the indulgence of this House to give him more time.
Okay. Before he answers, receipt of original documents. This is self-declaration form, EACC, and it was received on 5th September 2022. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Eldoret. And as he said, probably by his words, the guy who did the photocopy I think the photocopy was not clear, but when you look at the down here, probably the document will circulate around. It was duly signed by EACC. Now, when you look at the ID, ID number 247 57413, Nathan Kipkemei KORIR, date of birth 21st January 1987, sex is male, district of birth Eldoret West, place of issue HDM Eldoret. It was issued on 27th August 2019. I think when you look at the district, here is Keio South, Division Chepkorio, location Mosop, sub-location. Now, I think the point here is district of birth, which is Eldoret West.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Proceed.
Very clear on the documents that Nathan Kipkemei Arab KORIR was born in Eldoret West, which is Uasin Gishu County. The place of issue of the ID is Elgeyo Marakwet, and that is not a problem. The issue to verify was just a place of birth, which means he was born in Eldoret West, which is Uasin Gishu. That is clear.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Isaac Chirchir. I was trying to, because I am in possession of the original ID here, so district of birth is Eldoret West. I think that issue is now settled. Kindly, Mheshimiwa Kapkea, proceed.
Thank you so much, Chair. Mine is, I have a belief. I do have a belief that lands or the Department of Lands can serve this county well as a main source of own revenue, or we can use lands to increase our own source revenue. And my question to the nominee is the strategy that you can put in place so that we can use it to increase our own source revenue. And if called to advise the governor, will you advise the governor to give 100% waiver to the residents of Uasin Gishu concerning the issue of land rates and the rest? So that is my question, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Kapkea. Mheshimiwa Chepkonga, was your question?
Yeah, I had a question, but
okay.
the other one was, I was on a point of order.
Okay. Just answer your question.
Thank you so much, Nathan Kipkemei. Congratulations so far. And having ironed out the issues that the members have raised, so that my question is, how will you handle the cartels now that a few days ago we had a press statement jointly through the government of Uasin Gishu giving a pronouncement on what we thought best would handle the land issue in Uasin Gishu. I'm really looking at you, and I want to see a person who will give us solutions so that we reinforce our statement collectively done by the Uasin Gishu County. How will you come up and handle the cartels, because they are there and they are very strong? Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Rende. And as Mheshimiwa Rende is preparing to ask his question, from the original documents, as Mheshimiwa Speaker had asked, I'm also in receipt of certificate of tax compliance, which this certificate will be valid for a period of 12 months up to 30th October 2023. So I think issues to do with tax compliance, the issue now is sorted. Proceed, Mheshimiwa Rende.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, congratulations, Nathan Kipkemei KORIR, for being appointed as Chief Officer and Physical Planning. My question is number 16, honors and awards. The question asks, list any scholarship, fellowship, honorary degrees, academic or professional honors honorary society membership, military awards, and other special recognition of outstanding services, service or achievement, and in respect of which of award and the institution or organization that made the award. I found that Mr. Nathan, you have worked in different parts, Chief Executive Officer in Trans-East African Limited, Operations Manager, Frontier Farms Limited, Procurement Manager in Toulon Oil and Gas, Accountant in Kenya Seed Company, and Teller in KORIR Bank. Have you ever not been awarded any award in these organizations? Just asking because if you have worked and you have performed 100% in your duties, there should be award from any of these organizations. Can you give us, because we are giving you very important docket that needs performance, so that we as a county, we move forward in issues pertaining land. Question number 2 is that number 13. Number 13, in your this appointment to public office, this is papers. Question number 13 that ask knowledge of languages, specify languages. Are you sure, Mr. Nathan Kipkemei Korir, that you know just only 2 languages? You don't have a mother tongue language? Just asking.
Okay, Mheshimiwa Rende, your question is well answered. I think you're a member of Culture Committee. Now, okay, before we kindly, our nominee proceed and answer the questions, then I'll come to Mheshimiwa Gilbert Sato, Mheshimiwa Isaac from Soy, Mheshimiwa DS, then in that order. Kindly proceed, Nathan, and answer the questions.
Chairman, point of order. There are quite a number of questions that the nominee have just skipped them. A very good example is a question asked by Honorable Kapkea on strategies that he will put in place to make sure that the rates, lands being one of the
I think Mheshimiwa DS, you're out of order. He has not answered because I interfered with him. So now I'm giving you an opportunity to answer the questions. Yes. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Well, I know all members are really concerned about maybe raising of revenue, because that's very important towards maybe sustaining our budgets. Yes. Well, strategies maybe to improve revenue collection. Well, with this issue of digitization, which we hope that the system or the platform of digitization will be fast track to enhance, maybe we get all the rentable properties within the county. Because as we speak, we don't have an index maybe to raise that, maybe Honorable so and so or Mr. KORIR as the following rentable properties, which can be consolidated and be given the bill with a system that can be easy. So, well, the primary goal of this digitization issue is to bring all your bills and rates from a single click. Number two, as I told you earlier, incorporating stakeholders, that's the residents of Wasingishu, the House Committee, the employees of the Lands Department, the private sector, and all persons who may contribute to the revenue rates should be enlightened and be taught on the advantages and maybe benefits of us paying our rates to the county. Because if we really, I think by now, I think we are about, just to guess, I think about 40%. We are not yet even 50 or 6%. So, well, I'll try as much as possible to enhance sensitization, and also maybe to give waivers, not 100% waivers, but we want to encourage people to pay, but giving them 100% maybe waivers will not be a good advisory. Since we give 100% waivers maybe yearly, will derail our revenue collection system. We'll come up with a formula, maybe to encourage people to pay, maybe on pro rata. Maybe if you can pay certain amount and your bill was certain amount, you can get a waiver on basing on whatever you have paid. Well, the issue of revenue, I believe, and I still believe, there are a lot of leakages and leakages on the revenue collection system, especially on rates and physical planning, approval fees. So we'll try as much as possible as an accountant and as an auditor. We'll try as much as possible to put systems in place to ensure that we have internal controls in the department, that we will ensure up to 90% of the revenue, or 100% perhaps, is collected. Those are my submissions on the strategies. Well, the question on handling of cartels by Honorable Chekonga, as earlier said, is that cartels are giving the ordinary citizens nightmares. And I believe it's we people that we give cartels an opportunity to flourish. With the advisory of the House Committee, we will ensure compliance the rule of law. You know, a cartel maybe can get a land irregularly. So when all laws are followed to the letter, I think no cartel will exist. But the issue of cartels will not be a one issue, but one month's issue, but it will be participatory. All of us have to participate in this. As I earlier told you that I'm a team player, And I'll really rely on this house on such matters. And advisory will do meetings and we'll come up with maybe possible ways of taming cartels. I come to the question of the work experience and having worked for multinationals. With the spirit of utmost good faith, I've served diligently and honestly in those organizations.
Order, Nathan.
Yeah.
I just need a clarification only. Don't explain anything. The question was direct to the point. For the companies you've worked, have you ever been given any award? It's a yes or no?
No.
Thank you. Then...
Order, Speaker. Chair. I think we've well read, huh? We've well read when we read the section 13. Section 13 of the ESCC, and together with this questionnaire, I think that is the matter we were correcting the other time. That honors and awards, in bracket a list of scholarships, fellowships. Is a fellow member in business, and honorary. Those are degrees awarded, academic degrees, and I think the person who was filling NA, this together with the 13th one that we had asked in the first time, just needs some correction because it has been written NA, and if you follow on the bracket, the degrees, the honors, and I think he has he has a degree, and I've read in documents, but the filling of this questionnaire was one thing. I think that is where we need to correct, together with the first one. That was the correction that we were seeking.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I also noted...
what is your point of order, Mheshimiwa Chepkonga?
Just to fertilize on what Honorable Isaac Chirchir said, I noted with a lot of concern that he is a member of CHF. And I could not see. Perhaps, Honorable Chair, you know, he is very knowledgeable, and I am a witness. He's part of my congregation, and perhaps maybe it's an oversight issue, so that it should not hold us that much.
Order. Kindly, Mheshimiwa Chepkonga, clarify what is CHF. Because not everybody knows what you mean by the word CHF.
I just, thank you, Mr. Chair. I had Honorable Daktari for Livestock ask him whether he has any certification to prove that he's a member of any community. And I thought this is important, that he's a member of CHF, Christian Husbands Fellowship, and a very dedicated member, noting that he's a family man, and he is of high moral standing. He is a member of high moral standing. And Honorable Chair, you know, the demand that we have papers for proof, for me, I would want to rely. Sometimes even an honorable member, if he says that I am a witness to his works, is a testament enough to justify his high moral standing. Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Chepkonga. I think, Mheshimiwa Tamogei, your point is valid. Issues to do with the CHF, that one I think that is more socially outside this plenary. Yeah, and let me issues to do with this questionnaire. I think it will be prudent if, let us not ask questions on this questionnaire, let him fill it again afresh. Point to note is, kindly just write it there. Number 16, questionnaire. Number 13, yeah, number 13 and number 16, and also issues to do with referees. Question number 31. This one, I think, Nathan, you can do it before you leave here, so that as we proceed to write the report, we will not be looking for you, and it will not be an hindrance on report writing. Members, I think Mheshimiwa Gilbert, Mheshimiwa Isaac, and Mheshimiwa Sarah Malel, then we will give him an opportunity to ask for his prayers. Then we adjourn. Kindly, Mheshimiwa Gilbert.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. There's something you said that he feels this document afresh. It means it has to be stamped, because maybe the information that was received was not correct. That it has to be corrected. I have, if it is good through the chair, can I ask one-on-one question? Through the chair.
Mheshimiwa, you cannot ask one-on-one question. I can only give you an opportunity to ask only one question. Then it will be answered, because it will be a cumulative of questions. Yours, Mheshimiwa Sato, Mheshimiwa Isaac Chirchir, Mheshimiwa DS, and Mheshimiwa Chepkulei. One question each, kindly. Through the chair, not direct to him.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair, as we know, land is an emotive thing. How do you plan to refer to those public utilities which have been scrapped? I can see his writing, so that I could, if given the chance, because we've not given you the chance. Yes, if given the chance, how would he plan to revert those public utilities which have been scrapped? And who do you owe your allegiance?
Mheshimiwa Isaac Chirchir from Soy.
Thank you, Chair. I think you are not sorry, Chair. I'm Honorable Isaac Chirchir Tamugi, member from Soy. Thank you, our nominee Lands and Planning, Bwana KORIR. Mine is brief. For our target in revenue collection, our own source revenue, as we speak, we are less $1 million, and the projection in the financial year 2023-2024 is 1B. We are less $1 billion, and in the projection is 1B in the CIDP, in the ADP 2023-2024. The greatest contributor to revenue is land. As we speak, are you privy to the extent at which the county valuation role, the role at which it shows all the properties that are taxable? That is very much needed for us to raise taxes. If it is, how ready are you to make sure that that valuation role is complete and working for Ngusukumi to achieve its targets? Thank you.
Mheshimiwa DS.
Thank you, Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. First and foremost, allow me to congratulate Nathan KORIR for making it this far. You are a true inspiration to many young people, because I've only seen that you are slightly 1 year ahead beyond the youth age bracket. And I want to say congratulations. I would like also to say congratulations in your CV and your career path that you have also grown in a very short time. If it was not this opportunity that just came about in Wazingishu, I want to believe you are a true philanthropist and you could venture anywhere in the world. My question only is, because quite a number of them have been touched, and that's the reason why I was concerned about the issues of rates collection. I have one question, that you are coming from the corporate world where it is being driven by profit. And here you are coming to an entity which is non-profitable, but gauged on service delivery. I would like you to tell us, how would you want us to gauge you? And what parameters of time are you giving ourselves for us to see the changes that you really intend to do? And lastly, Chair, allow me one. Yeah, the department that you are seeking to be given an opportunity, you will be serving under 1 CEC 2 chief officers. Your department also has the planning part, and we have the other department, house and urban development. Quite a number of times I'm seeing you looking heads or getting in touch, or maybe the separation of your duties between the chief officer for urban development and housing vis-a-vis your planning matters, because you will be in charge of all the planning matters of the county government of Wazingishu, regardless of whether it will be on urban or in rural. How do you intend, if you can foresee such a challenges, to sort those difficulties in case they come to you? Thank you, Chair.
Mheshimiwa Isaac Samoe.
Thank you, Chair. And Mr. Nathan KORIR, congratulations for having made to this House as a nominee for lands. I only have one question, Chair, as per your direction. Mine appertains the issue of riparian land, being a government land. The same in conjunction with encroachment of road reserve. Those two key areas squarely lies in your department. And Mr. Nathan, given the chance and opportunity by this honorable House and subsequent approval by the appointing authority, what measures are you going to put in place so that you can safeguard all the riparian land? The riparian land, for example, the land that is nearing water catchment areas. And then the encroachment of road reserves, mainly in urban and even in rural, many people have encroached. What is your take, Mr. Nathan KORIR? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Let me give our nominee, Nathan KORIR, an opportunity to answer the questions. Kindly proceed, Nathan.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Well, I'll start with a question of Honorable Samoe about the riparian land. Well, Article 67 of the Constitution gives and guides on the riparian land. Riparian land belongs to the public, and all the riparian land that has been encroached should be reverted back to the government. I think there is no argument, there is no question about that. Number two, question by Honorable Sarah Malel about the foreseeable conflict in the department. Well, I believe as an authorized officer under Section 45 of the County Governments Act, my roles are clearly prescribed, and well, being in the corporate world, we have always been managing relationships, maybe internally or externally. No business or no government can thrive if the relationships are not managed. I believe as public officers, we should not fight at the expense of service delivery to the managed. So the constitution or the organogram lays down the roles, who does what and who plays what role in the department. I think we'll be guided by that. And in case of any conflicts, we shall manage. I am a good negotiator, but we shall manage. But also with the guidance of the House. Believe me or not, we will be working together regularly. Yeah, I trust, and I'm a team player. So this is not a one-man show. We'll be working together. Well, about the question by Honorable Chirchir about the targets of the revenue. Well, as we come in, if so, my nomination is approved by you, by the House. If I get the chance to serve as the Chief Officer in the Departments of Land and Physical Planning, well, we are guided by the Nguso Kumi. We will not be able to keep the vision of the governor, the Vision 2030, SDG goals alive if we don't work hard to maybe get the revenue required so that it can be able to sustain the projects and projections of what we have planned for. Having worked in different organizations, I've always been in charge of keeping the mission and vision of the company alive. So in this scenario, I'll keep the vision and mission of RT House alive. That's my promise to the committee. The question by Honorable Sato about the craft utilities. Well, with the with the advisory of the House, the craft utilities belong to the government. I think there is no negotiation about that. Public utility remains public utility. Well, number two, he has asked about whom do I owe allegiance? Here comes a question of stakeholders. This is a government. Department is not mine alone. The House Committee, this House, this Honorable House, the Governor. So we'll have to do a trade-off because we have to work together. Not only will I owe allegiance to the Governor and not to the House, but I want to promise this House that we'll work together. If so, my nomination is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Okay, the Mheshimiwa DS.
Allow me one.
Okay, okay.
Only one. The issue of I like the way he has responded on the issues of putting in place mitigations for us to make sure that we collect maximum revenue in terms of land rates. I don't know, Nathan, whether you are aware that we are still operating under the cap 263. In our valuation roll charges. I don't know what's your take when given this opportunity, because in the year 2019, somewhere 2020, there was an attempt by the government to introduce to change our valuation role to suit the circumstances of today, but there was a lot of resistance from the public. I don't know what's your take.
And also, let me just fertilize on that. There is an issue of litigation. Now, I don't know how you're going to handle the issue also with this house, because one of the members is one of the people who took the case to court. Kindly proceed. Okay, maybe, I hope it's on the issue related. It's related to this issue. You're going to fertilize. I hope it's not another question.
I've just held the mic. I've not asked for any point of
view. Okay, okay, proceed, Nathan.
Thank you. Well, I think all this issue may be about Article 63 and maybe subsequent raising of land rates. Well, if people are really sensitized about the importance of paying rates, well, I believe the change in rates amount will not be a subject of discussion, because Wasingishu residents now want Eldoret to be a city. City comes with obligations, so we should sensitize, maybe do capacity building with the residents of Wasingishu, and I say stakeholders, so that, because if Eldoret becomes a city, them also will get the benefit of opportunities that will arise. So I think if they do a scenario analysis after being sensitized, they'll not be hard on that. Thank you.
Nathan, thank you so much for your time. I think at this point, I can say, let me give you an opportunity, probably, to say your prayers, as we have the questions, you've really tried to answer them. We do appreciate what you've done, and also we still congratulate you. Now, let us hear your prayer before we adjourn. Then the issues which are still pending, I think Sergeant Atam will guide you. Yeah, kindly. What is your wish? What is your prayer to this committee?
Thanks, Honorable Chairman. I want to take this opportunity to thank all honorable members for the time they have granted me today, and hear my arguments and submissions. And I plead with you that kindly and please kindly uphold my nomination. I beg you to uphold my nomination so that I can have an opportunity to work with you people. Honorable members, I don't have much to say, but just to thank you and wish you happy Easter holiday. Thank you.
Nathan, thank you so much. Also, let me take this opportunity to wish you happy Easter holiday, though it's, I think it's in 3 days or 4 days ahead. I wish you all the best. I hope the committee will hear your prayer, and they will uphold your nomination and hope probably we will work together days ahead and in the future. So I wish you all the best. Sergeant Atam, kindly, you just lead him. Sharon, Sergeant Atam, lead him out. Then, as he's leaving, the meeting is adjourned. But members, kindly, let's have 1 minute. Our friends at the gallery, we really appreciate your presence. We are also so happy because you followed our instructions. Thank you so much and welcome again. Asanteni sana.